The reality is we have to be humble, self-aware, and honestly compassionate to ourselves. When you're hitting a plateau, it's not about motivation. Like, you know, I don't wanna be like a rah-rah guy for all of you out there. I don't mind it, but those are like little bursts. That's not sustainable. Sustainability comes from clarity. Clarity is like, why have I hit this plateau? Is this only as good as I am? Nobody really wants to go there, but like talent is part of the process. Back to a lot of themes. Have I gone too hard for too long and I just need a break? Like maybe this is the summer for a lot of you to just enjoy it because you've gone too hard for 4 years and like you've got to a place but you've plateaued, and maybe the plateau is happening from you needing a little break. Think about working out. You know, the people that really know shit, they talk about rest days. Like you can't pump iron 7 days a week and expect gains. Your body needs rest. Well, in the macro of building a business or your project, sometimes you just need a rest day, and that might just be a rest summer. Maybe this is 2023 rest summer for the people plateaued, but this goes back to nuances. I wanna make sure real quick while I'm making this video, for the people that are crushing and ascending, this is not rest summer. This is continue to squeeze the living shit out of it because you haven't plateaued summer, right? And so like, where people are not strong is being contextual. To find out why you've plateaued, there's 100 reasons why. Maybe competitors have come in and created too much supply for the demand. 3 years ago, you were the only one doing oat milk ice cream, and now all of a sudden there's 6 more places in the city that do oat milk ice cream, and maybe there was only so much demand for oat. So it might be external, it might be internal. In general, I can sense off the video I really enjoyed that I posted a couple of days ago or weeks ago, depending when team posted. Let's pop that up, team, that long form video that I really like. I think the thing that's always lost when I talk is the nuances. When I talk about what I did in my 20s, I talk about that from a framework of self-awareness of what worked for me. It's nuances. In these split screens, answering these questions, it's nuanced. Maybe you're burnt out. Maybe you're only so talented and you should do something else. Maybe it's the fact that there's more competition and you need to wait for more demand to come in. Maybe there'll never be more demand and it's a fad and you should jet the fuck out of the whole thing. There's a lot of reasons one may plateau. Maybe you haven't focused on culture and your team is not working as hard for you because now they figured out that you're a dick, not an innovator. Could be a lot of things. There's like literally 900 answers to that. I can literally think of 45 different reasons that a company would plateau. Look at the one that I just used at the end. Maybe it's just your company's plateaued because nobody around you believes in you anymore because they've sniffed out your bullshit. You're not a genius, you're just a dick face. Maybe you fell in love, Boston boy. Maybe you fell in love and you're just like you're not spending every second on the business and like you're googly eyed, and that's beautiful. And maybe, you know, the honeymoon phase will be over in a year and you can get back to focusing on the business, or maybe you'll never focus on the business again because you found a new balance, and that's fucking beautiful too. Like there's just maybe. We have to be like, in general, like I have a feeling my 2024 content is gonna be about like the heaviness of the nuances. You're lazy because you're disinterested.
Exactly, 100%.
When I was 13 to 18, I was told by many people that I was lazy. They just happened to be people that were at school, you know, and maybe my grandma sometimes around the house because I didn't want to hang a picture. But, you know, you know, it makes me laugh so much because people thought I was lazy, yet my life's destiny was to be synonymous with work ethic.
Yeah, like I really feel like if I had something interesting, like when I watch all those videos about business and marketing and real estate, I spend like 3 hours like just watching and just listening, and it's so interesting and I'm so captivated in the moment. But as soon as I switch back to my chemistry class and they start talking about all this other stuff, like in 2 minutes, I'm like so disinterested, so uninterested in whatever they're talking about.
I lived your life, my friend. I understand. It got so bad for me that I started bringing wine magazines to school and I would read them in the middle of class. Like literally
wow.
I basically realized something. I realized that my high school was more interested in me passing because they were going for a blue ribbon status in New Jersey, which required everybody graduating. I realized that I could, as long as I showed up for school, that I was going to pass. And the second I realized that, I basically read wine magazines in class or fooled around or daydreamed or doodled or whatever, you know. I think the key here is perspective. One, you're not missing out. Today it's NFTs, tomorrow it's VR. The next day it's something that not the three of us could even imagine. So I think you gotta make sure that you don't have anxiety of missing out. Once you have a good relationship with that, what you need to do is just focus on learning as much as you can around the things that you're passionate about. Ultimately, your parents will be okay no matter what, as long as you're healthy and happy. But you might have to have a little bit of pain in between now and that success. I view entrepreneurship like I view art. I really do. I really do. I believe that artists who are truly artists are happy to live by financial humble means, to be able to draw or to doodle or whatever they do. And if that means they'll make $63,000 a year scrapping by a side job and selling a couple of paintings, that if they truly are a true artist, not one who thought they wanted to be an artist to become Banksy or make money or be famous or be a rock star and date models. I mean, truly, I am an artist and I love it. I believe they're happier than a chemical engineer making $800,000 a year. And I think that's why I associate with entrepreneurship so much, more about the freedom of being happy about doing your true mission than the financial success that's associated with it. Because when I got into it, it wasn't cool like it is right now. Do you understand how crazy it is for me to have young men like you say that I'm your idol? There was no thought that businessmen or women were cool. When I was your age, athlete, musician, but never even, the most famous businessman that was doing something progressive was Bill Gates, and his glasses were the size of my head. It was the furthest, it was nerd culture for the progressive businessman, or very old people. Like a businessman on TV would be a 70-year-old man with white hair, right, Maha? It's very fascinating how things evolve.
Gary, my question for you is, for a lot of athletes, when that dream ends, how do you find a new passion to equivalent that dream?
All right, first of all, the amped AA in the background is the greatest thing ever. Building VeeFriends is gonna be amazing. Look, I think this is something I've been very passionate about. I feel so bad for people when a dream dies. And by the way, there's a small group of people in the world that it's around athletics. What about the majority of people who are straight A students or good students, and the dream ends the day you're done with college? You're like, oh fuck, good grades in school means nothing in real life. Like, dreams die all the time. And so for athletes, I think you gotta find another competitive outlet. I think the thing that really hurts athletes specifically is how much they enjoyed the competitiveness of it. And so that's why entrepreneurship and business has been so big. One of my favorite things about the last 20 years that entrepreneurship became a thing is it became a place that athletes can go when the dream dies. Or when the dream dies out of retirement. Amount of athletes now that don't have to be in depression at 38 after having a great career, and what do they do with themselves? Like, they don't wanna golf. They don't want to coach. They don't want to be a sports commentator. A lot of them are going into business. I know a lot of these athletes, and it's been beautiful to watch, because I probably went to business because I couldn't be an athlete because they're close enough. You know what I mean? And so I think for all of us, whether it's sports or how I'm making this a bigger video, which is especially for all of you where you realize the dream is over, like school doesn't guarantee you real life success. You got to reset and you got to find outlets of what you liked. If you loved learning, maybe you should go into strategy and research and consumer behavior, because you get to be curious. So there's a lot of cool stuff like that.